Welcome to the Cognac Room, an uninhibited drink-infused podcast about adulting and male and female interactions. Pull up a chair, pour up a glass, and let's discuss.
Hello. How are you, Miss Meyonna Swavaye? How are you today?
Hi, I'm well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm excited about having you on today.
I am too. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I think this is going to be very interesting, educational, and fun. So,
I hope so.
yeah, I definitely hope so. All right. So, first of all, tell everyone exactly who you are and what you do, and give any plugs that you have wherever they can find you. Let's go ahead and give them that information.
Okay, so hello, my name is Meyonna Swavaye. I call myself the Urban Sexologist. I'm a certified sexuality coach and sexpert. I've been professionally doing this for about 6 years or so. I've been studying the field of sexology and sexuality since I could remember, like literally. I have a business which is called Raw and Explicit. And our whole mission is to make the uncomfortable comfortable by having uncomfortable conversations about sexuality, stigma behind it, and just making it a conversation in which everyone is able to relate to and become comfortable with, because it is a part of our world. And as well as within our community, the Black community, just making people more aware of things and more educated when it comes to sexual health, sexuality, and etc. And also being raw and explicit, which is me.
Oh yeah, that is awesome. That is amazing, and it's crazy that you say that because you look so young. So it's kind of like 6 years.
I am young.
Well, I mean, I'm young, but you see that gray. I'm still young, but yeah, no, but that is great. So tell us where this passion came from for what you do.
This passion stirred up, honestly, as a kid. My mom is like very open with me, and she's always been like that with me. So shout out to my mommy. And I would ask her anything, and she would answer. I was like 4. I want to say 4 for sure. When I asked her about where babies came from, and instead of saying like birds and the bees, she told me, oh, so vagina and a penis inserts the vagina and sperm comes out. Okay. So for me, it was very intriguing. And I always was like a kind of like awkward kid in a sense, like interested in weird stuff. So for me, that was just like, oh my God. So ever since then, it just kind of opened up my curiosity of it. So I knew a lot about sex growing up. I could identify like STIs on like pictures, like in the textbooks and stuff. When I got into like middle high school, like I was able to like do that and stuff. Yeah. So for me, it's just always been something I could just think about. I could be doing hair. I love doing hair, but then I'm still thinking about this. So it's just something that's just always been within me. So I'm just like, you know what? I can't stop thinking about you. So we got to make this work.
Right. I get it. So tell me about your journey into becoming a sexologist. Like, because, okay, obviously it was something that, intrigued you. And it was something that, you were curious about. But then to decide that, like the progression to decide that, you know what, I want to like help people and teach people and, whatever.
So like, I always wanted to work for like the health department or like a health clinic, always. And I always wanted to specifically do something when it came to like babies, like an OBGYN, or doing like STI testings, or being like that nurse that gave the testing and talk to the people about their diagnosis, or just educate them about what's going on, etc. So for me, that was something I really wanted to do. However, when I got to college, I was like, I don't think that's going to be it for me. It was a little too much for me. And some stuff I just realized like I couldn't deal with that further on within my career. If I had like went into a certain situation with like a certain client, or like a misfortunate situation happened, I couldn't deal with that. My heart couldn't deal with it. So I just was trying to figure out what to do. I never really knew what I wanted to how I wanted to go about with this. So I would talk to my counselors at the schools. They was like, well, we don't have nothing like that. You could do this, you could do that. And it's that's not what I want to do. So I found agencies that related to sexual health or the AIDS agencies within our areas. I went to Michigan State at the time. So I volunteered at their AIDS agency there. I also volunteered back home in Detroit at other agencies that help those people living with HIV. And from there, it was learning just how I can go about with this. So I said, you know what? I'll make this easy on myself. I'm going to get my degree in human development, family studies. Wow. Then I got my minor in women and gender studies and my specialization in LGBT studies.
Okay.
So from there, I just started gaining experience, networking, trying to get to know people in the field so I can know what's the next steps to do. How can I get in the health department? How can I work with the state? How can I do this how can I make a difference in the field of STIs and HIV within my community? And very limited to do so. And you got to know the right people when it comes to those kind of things. But honestly, I kept on trying. I kept on looking into stuff. Then I ran across the Dr. Rachel Institute and certified.
Got certified. How long did that take you, if you don't mind me asking?
It took, it's supposed to be a self-paced thing. So it takes it varies. Okay. For me, life got in the way. So it took me about 2 years to do so, to actually complete it.
Got you. Yeah. But it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, right?
Exactly. And it's for sure been one hell of a marathon.
That's great. Okay. So listen, I've visited your Raw and Explicit page. That's actually how I discovered you, so to speak. Okay. And there were some very interesting topics that you addressed there. You have a very unique viewpoint. Thank you. When it comes to sex and sex therapy, because I'll be honest, I haven't heard a lot of people who profess to be sex therapists, and that's not a shot at anyone, but I haven't heard them say some of the things that I hear you say. Say what?
I said the shade.
No, it's not. It's not shade. I promise. I can think of at least one sex therapist that I've had on the show that's really cool. I consider her a friend, and so I would hate for her to think I was talking about her. I'm not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it is a stigmatized, I'll say, career choice, especially for women, and especially for men too. I can see it being something that some people would probably be like, "Oh, you do that?" But honestly, it is what it is. If this is what you do, this is what you do, and this is what I do, and I'm happy.
And that's good. I feel like it's so important to do something that you actually enjoy doing.
I love what I do. I love just the conversation. When people come up to me or just ask me questions, or even in my DMs or whatever, that just ask me questions, it makes me feel good to even know that somebody is even listening or want to know my opinion or whatever in regards to the conversation or the topic that they're interested in at that moment. So, yeah.
Okay. That's dope. That's dope. All right. So let's get to the good stuff. Not that learning about how you got to where you are and to becoming the person that you are isn't good stuff, because that's great, because without that, you can't give us the juicy bits. Right? So I'm I don't know, I'm one of those weird people. I just like to just go for the jugular at the beginning, just get it over with. So
go for the gusto, okay.
Where would you say, in your opinion, that most men miss it in the bedroom? Because I actually get a lot of inboxes from guys, younger guys, and they're like, well, what about this? And can I do this? And you talk about this. And I'm like, man, I'm not a sexologist. I can tell you how to navigate your relationship really well, but I mean,
I'm sorry.
no, it's not to say that I don't have bedroom tips, but my thing is, I'm me. He can't be me. He gonna have to.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody is different.
Yeah.
Everybody is different. But I say this in most of my videos already. The biggest problem that people have when it comes to their partners, they don't talk to their partners. They just going about what they want, what they know, what they think. No, that everybody's not the same. Just because Sally Sue liked it this way, don't mean Janice gonna like it that way, or whatever. Like, no, it's the whole thing about it is communication, knowing your partner, understanding their body language. Like, that's the biggest thing that you need to do in regards of knowing what to do in the bedroom with your partner. I'm not gonna say that's what it is, because like I said, everybody is different, but you have to understand the importance of communication, comprehension, and body language.
Damn, communication, comprehension, and body language. I need you to break those down for us. I get it. Trust me. But I know that there's some dumb motherfucker listening like, what you talking about? I don't get it. So
Communication is verbalizing those needs, those wants, those desires. Comprehension, understanding what they're saying, understanding what it means. So if you sit here and say, oh, I want you to touch me. Touch you how? How do you want me to touch you? Touch me in this way. Okay, yeah. Like this, yes. That's the communication and comprehension, understanding and verbalizing the wants or needs or desires. Body language, understanding the body language of what your partner is giving you.
That's dope.
So if you have a partner that's just sitting there like this, they're nervous. You got a partner that's like this, they're ready. It's really just seeing, I'll say, getting a vibe off of your partners, right, and seeing what they're willing to do, what they're able to do. Even when you're in the middle of things, you could be in the middle of an act and then you can see that your partner's body language has changed. Mm-hmm. Communicate that to them. Right. Even if it ruins the moment, but make sure that they feel comfortable with that. Because mm-hmm. also making sure your partner is comfortable during these kind of moments, that's a big thing too. Because it shows that you're considering, it shows that you care.
Very important. Very important.
You care about the vagina. You care about the penis.
Yeah, definitely. Because, and I always used to tell people this, people don't come with instruction manuals. So I can't do, like you said, I can't do what worked for Christine with Rebecca. It ain't going to work like that.
It's not. It might, but it might not.
Right. And I think
you gotta,
go ahead.
You gotta figure it out.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest problems. Is like, I'll use myself for an example. Early in life, I had a couple of females who liked the same thing, so I thought that this was like a cheat code, and if I did this, it would always work, right? Mm-hmm. And then when it didn't, I was like, "Well, what's wrong?" I was, I didn't understand.
Yeah, you was confused because you had somebody either be honest with you or they was different.
Exactly. Yeah, but I think the biggest fear when it comes to women is because it's not that men aren't coachable in that area or that we don't want our partner to kind of guide us or instruct us as to how to please them. But I feel like sometimes maybe the women themselves feel uncomfortable expressing their desires and expressing what they want because they feel like it's going to make the guy feel away.
You're absolutely right. So I feel, this is just my opinion. I'm not stating like this is scientific proof and you can, no, this is just my opinion. We now live in a world where it is more access to things. People are becoming more comfortable within themselves. People are vocalizing their wants, their desires, their needs. They're taking more seriousness when it comes to self-care, self-love, and things like that. So because of that, now I would say more women are becoming more vocal of their wants, of their needs, of their desires. Prior to, of course, you wasn't going to get some woman that's telling you, oh, I want to try anal. Oh, I want to try this and that, because they will feel like they will get judged by their partner, or because most of the time women feel as though I'm supposed to satisfy the man when it comes to sex. No. We actually, as women, we have a specific organ that is made specifically for pleasure. Men don't have that. So with that being said, it's not just the satisfaction of the male or the person that's holding the penis, it's also the person who has the vagina, or the woman in this instance, because it ain't you. ain't gonna have a satisfying sex life. It's just one person always getting off another person just sitting there like, oh, okay. They're like, what in the fuck?
That's fucking hilarious. So,
but no, seriously. So like, that's what I'm saying. Like before, yeah, like even now, a lot more women are becoming more comfortable vocalizing their wants, their needs, and desires when it comes to sex. A lot more women are becoming more sexually liberated, which means more comfortable within their sexuality, within themselves, within the conversation of sex and just being a sexual being. Yeah. A lot of people still aren't because, again, culture-wise, religion, community, things like that, stigma. All of that stuff, it still relates to the conversation. So it's coming about, it's getting better. And I am proud of the women who are out here that's like, no, baby, that's wrong.
I get it. I do. And I think that sometimes, sometimes men are fearful when it comes to sexually liberated women because, and I think that's part of where the stigma of she's a hoe comes from. You know what I mean? Yeah. But don't get me wrong. Like, I don't necessarily want to be with somebody that's been hit by the entire football team. Exactly. But I think that we live in a time where it's safe to say that most of us have a history. And so we got to get past that whole thing, Yeah.
And just because someone is sexually liberated doesn't mean that they've experienced with multiple people.
Right.
They could have just experienced with a partner.
Right.
They could have experienced with their specific partners. It doesn't necessarily mean that you experimented with the whole city.
Right.
You just experimented with someone who was comfortable enough that you be able to be sexually liberated, sexually, what you wanted to do. Or your partner also. So you have different experiences when it comes to sex. So it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, I'm sexually liberated, I'm a hoe, this and that. Okay, if that's what the label is, then that's what the label is. Like, if you want to call someone sexually a hoe because they are experienced or sexually liberated, then that's on you, whatever.
Yeah.
The whole thing is that doesn't define what it is. It really just someone who is experienced and also someone who knows what they want and knows how to get it. And it doesn't necessarily mean you get it from everybody.
That's right.
You can also be sexually liberated when it comes to yourself, which is masturbating, because you could possibly make yourself orgasm better than somebody else could do for you.
That's true. That's very true. So I will tell you this, as a man, when I was a young man, my first experiences or what is the word I'm looking for? I'm looking for a word that will best describe this. My first, not experiences, but my first concept, I say, is the best thing that I can grab right now of sex was like there was immediately instilled a fear in me of not being good enough sexually, almost immediately, because of the things that I had heard or overheard, the things that I had, just the things I've seen and heard, basically, right? Because up until this point, I had no point of reference. I had no experience. So at the tender age of 13, I lost my virginity to an older female, and then I was like, well, maybe I got lucky. You know what I mean? No, seriously, because we were both very young. Even though I was younger than her, we were both very young and inexperienced. So it didn't matter. Now that I look back on it. But I think a lot of men have approached sex from a one down, uphill battle type perspective from day one because of this. Because I remember hearing little guys say, oh, she gonna drown you, or she drowned you, or da-da-da-da, this and that, meaning that, you're not big enough, right? Or that, then there was the whole thing about not lasting long enough, right? So immediately, this was the big concern. Like, am I going to be big enough? Am I going to last long enough? Am I going, is my breath going to stink? Like, just whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just whatever. So, I'm pretty sure that women come into it with their own preconceived ideas and worries and concerns as well.
Yeah. The whole thing of what you just said is, one thing we all have in common, we are all human.
Right.
We all have emotions. We all want to be perfect at a certain extent. We want to make sure things is right. We want to make sure we're not doing the wrong things. Like, we all have that common factor when it comes to each other. For women, we want to, like, in the beginning, it's like, am I satisfying them? Is it tight enough? Like, if they come too quick, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Like, what's going, like, what is it? You know what I'm saying?
God.
So, like, this is the same concepts, really, but that stems too from your surroundings, your environment, your peers, what's being talked about, what's being said, their experiences, what they heard from their brothers, their cousins, their mamas, their daddies, whoever. Like, that just comes with that. You made, like, at that age, you knew, but you didn't know exactly what was, like, what those feelings or what those emotions even meant. Now you hear somebody say, "Oh, she gonna drown," you like, "Shit, I hope."
So okay, speak to that, because I don't.
I'm saying in the sense of, like, the wetness, the moistness.
Got you.
Like,
Yeah. Got you.
Like,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. In the sense of, like, falling in deep, like, I mean, that's just something that could be that the holder's issue or the partner's issue.
Right.
Because, I mean, honestly, like, with the vagina, it's elastic. It comes back together. It could be something with the pelvic floor. It may be weak, so they may have to do Kegels. They may have to do certain exercises to strengthen that pelvic floor.
Right.
And like I said, it may have been like a lot. Like, sometimes they say if you had a whole bunch of kids, that can cause it to stretch out a little bit more or whatever. But in the sense of, with, like, the penis.
Yeah. I don't like that look. I don't like that.
I'm sorry, but when it comes in a sense of, like, with, like, the multiple penises and stuff, it's like, this is like a elastic thing. Like, if, like I said, if there's an issue with that, it's more so something with, like, the floor, the elasticness of the vagina, which it can just go back to. The vagina is very special.
It is. I will agree with that. It's very, very special. I will agree with that. Hence why most men worship it. I wouldn't go that far. It shouldn't be that drastic, but okay. It is what it is, right?
Right.
But no, so I think that like, I had a woman tell me this, and you can confirm or, dispel this myth if it's a myth. She told me that if you start having sex with someone, whether they're bigger than your last partner or smaller, that your vajayjay would adjust.
Vaginas adjust, yeah. That's why I say, when I said, that's when I said, like, our vaginas are elastic. It can, like, most definitely adjust to that. Like, like, when it's not aroused, it's between 4.5 inches, and then with the penis, and then when the penis inserts, depending on the size and our comfort of things, it's going to expand. Like, so it's like, okay, if you 9 inches and you put 3 of it in, you ain't gonna see the 6. It's gonna go in, because that's how our bodies adjust to that when it comes to arousal stages and things in which we're comfortable now, and you're able to insert.
Okay, so I heard you say something on your page that I've heard my entire life, right?
Okay.
And up until recently, it was kind of like everybody was like, yeah, that's it. But, like, nowadays, they're saying, nah, that's not true. Women are, like you said, they're speaking up now. And now it's like, nah, that's bullshit. That ain't true. And so what you said was that it's not the size of the boat, but the motion in the ocean. Something to that effect, right? And so, like, I'm serious. Like, if I could tell you, like, I have 2 female co-hosts. If I could tell you how often they get these questions, and they don't really know how to answer the questions, because both of them are just real superficial. They know that. They admit that. And, like, they're horrible. But anyway. But anyway.
So first of all, that video is probably like my most popular video.
Guys love it, don't they? It takes a little bit of that pressure off.
But I was just saying it in a sense because, I mean, when it comes to the penis, when it comes to the vagina, everybody is different. It's different. It's going to feel different with anybody. I don't care. It's going to feel different. Everybody doesn't have the same size penis. Everybody doesn't have the same feeling inside on their vagina. You may have a tilted uterus. You may not. It may be tighter. It may be wider. Your lips may be bigger. They may be looser. They may be flappier. They may be tighter. Like everything is different. You may have one testicle, two big balls, no balls. Like it's all different. Circumcised, not circumcised. Everything is all different. So it's different, and that's like the same when earlier when we were just saying like Sally Sue might not like this, but Janice might. It's the same concept when it comes to the vagina. And just because you may be King Kong Mandingo don't mean that it's feeling fantastic to old girl or whatever. The average might get her off more because it's hitting all the different spots that she has. It's able to hit her G-spot quicker than it is for the person that's bigger than that because they keep missing it or something. Or it may be certain positions that work better with different sizes or different people. And then it's like, that's the whole thing of it. Everybody is different. So when I said that concept, like it's not the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean, it's because everybody is different. You may have the average size, but you can read your partner's body language so out cold that every time you and your partner engage, y'all both having an orgasm. Y'all both like, every single time.
I tell you the most.
So it's just really varies.
I tell you the most backhanded compliment that I've ever gotten. And I mean, like, so I don't know, like the cognac room, like it's kind of like shock value, like a lot of stuff. I say a lot of wild stuff. So please don't take it personally. It's not being disrespectful, nothing like that. Okay. This is how I talk and this is what the people come for. Okay.
You see how I'm talking. So
right. But I think the most backhanded compliment that I've ever gotten was this chick once told me, she said, "You got some good D." And I was like, "Oh, that's what's up." Da, 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 da. And I may have made a comment. And she said, "I didn't say it was big. I said it was good." Oh shit! I didn't know whether to laugh or cry.
We're honest, like
I didn't know whether to laugh or cry.
That's a compliment.
It's one of them, though. It's like
it kind of is to you. Because you're like, well, damn, because, y'all take pride in y'all penises. So I understand that. But that is a compliment. I know how you like.
I mean.
Okay. So I understand. But that is a compliment.
I mean, I guess. Maybe. Maybe on a good day. It's like, all right. But no. But I had to learn that what's big to somebody else is not big to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it just
everybody's different.
Everybody's different, like you said. So when it comes to women, what do you think? Say you think, but you probably know, are like the biggest hang-ups, you know what I'm saying, and obstacles for more, because like a lot of women, like there are women that won't let you like put your hand down there to even put it in. Like there are women that won't let you see them. They want to wear a big shirt or they want the lights out. And I'm not talking about women who are like big women. I'm women who have like perfectly normal bodies.
Insecurities.
Of what? Of what?
I mean, that just comes with insecurities. And those insecurities sometimes can be worked with. Like for some of my clients who I know that have certain insecurities, I tell them, I let them know, like, hey, you are unique. Like, you may not feel comfortable within who you are or what your body looks like, but this is you. You're willing to allow someone to insert you. You should be able to be willing to let them see what they're about to get.
Exactly.
At the same time. But that also comes with just being able to love your body as it is. Like, I know for me personally, after I had my daughter, I was really uncomfortable with myself, with my body, with everything. I would try, but I just couldn't. For me, it took a lot for me to get to a point where I was just like, you know what, this is me. This is my body, and tried to do everything that I could to make me love my body as it was, because it wasn't the same anymore once I had my child. So that's something too that some women go through as well. But with that, it's just really just being able to accept what you have and what it is, because that's what it is.
Yeah, you can't change it.
Do everything you want to do to it, but just be able to know that you accept your body and it is what it is when it comes to that.
Yeah,
it's a part of you.
Yeah, I just said you can't change it. That's not true. You can definitely change it.
That's why I said, like, do what you want to do to make you be able to embrace yourself, embrace your body, embrace your, I'm not even going to say flaws, because it ain't really flaws. It's a part of you. Like, ain't nobody perfect. Your imperfections.
Exactly. But the most amazing thing is that, and I've been saying this, I've been preaching this, man. Most guys don't even look at you the way you look at yourself. We look at the little stretch marks. We look at the little kangaroo pouch, and that shit is a turn on. Like, to a real man, like on some real, this shit's a fucking turn on, because I have a friend of mine who always said, he said, man, you see that girl right there? Is your kid in the room right now? Huh?
No, she's not.
Okay. He said, you see that girl right there? I like, yeah. He like, it's some good pussy under that pouch right there, boy.
Why did I know you was going to say that?
Yeah. So you've heard that, right?
I've heard people say those terms.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I think that we put too much pressure on ourselves.
We do.
Which takes me to my next question of something else I heard you say on your page.
Make it hard for ourselves.
Huh?
I said life could be so much easier if we didn't make it hard for ourselves.
Yeah, true. So you said this. You said, well, okay. You have a theory about sex being too goal oriented. You wanna share? Would you like to share?
So most of the times when it comes to sex, the goal is to ejaculate, to come, to have an orgasm. But it's also the experience as well, and what you're putting yourself into when doing this. That can also bring more excitement to the orgasm. That can also bring just more pleasure in general with that, by also realizing the experience in which you're giving to your partner. So that really is my thing when it comes to it, like setting the mood. That's something. Being able to just knowing your partner's body language, making sure they're comfortable. That's an experience in itself. Being able to not just physically fuck you, but mentally fuck you. Like, those are things too that brings the excitement. That could be a foreplay without it even having to be real foreplay in itself. It's an experience with it. So your sexual encounter should be an experience, in my opinion. Yeah, you should be able to have an orgasm, whatever. But some women don't squirt. Some women don't have those cream pies or whatever they want to call it, whatever. Some people just have full body orgasms. Some people just start just getting super moist, and it's just like, oh my goodness, and just have like a different kind of experience. It varies when it comes to the experience. Okay,
question, because that was going to be my next question. There are a lot of women who are non-orgasmic. They don't have them at all. They've never. There are women who are like, I don't know, my mother's age, who never had one. They don't know what it's like. How does that, in your studies, right? How does that happen? Is that normal, or is it just that they never ran across the right dude?
I'm not gonna say they never ran across the right person, but it can be things in which they have to try amongst themselves by just being mentally clear. Sometimes when people have sex, they thinking about everything rather than just being in the moment. That can also be a part of it. Some people with their body, some people just don't. But like I said, can experience a full body orgasm, or can experience having a moment where it's just like you feeling some extra wetness. You're like, what the hell? And it's like, oh, I squirt. Or just, those kind of moments. Like that can happen. It's not impossible to not have an orgasm. No, you can most definitely have one. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just about knowing what you like. It's about knowing, again, your comfort, your experience, just being able to figure that out with yourself. Even if you don't, some people don't even get it with a partner. They'll get it by themselves. Some people don't even, like I said, we have an organ that's basically only for pleasure, the clitoris. Sometimes the clitoris just might be the only thing that just stimulates that orgasm to come, and you may not even know it. Like, you can be using toys, you can be receiving head, you can just be playing with yourself, whatever the case may be, it can happen. You just got to know your body. Mm-hmm. You got to understand, too, that it can happen. It's not impossible. It's not impossible, but you just got to know how you can do it. Try different things. See, just try different things and see what may work best for you. Because again, it may not be a squirt, it may not be a cream pie, it may not just be a moist just start coming out, it may just be a full body orgasm, maybe something just completely different. Your experiences may be different. Yeah. A climax, whatever.
Yeah, I get it. And I definitely agree. I think that I don't know. I've run across a lot of women, either they're lying or they really don't do it. But they say they don't touch themselves, and they stand by that.
I mean, I've ran across some women who also said the same thing. It's like a discomfort. It makes them feel weird. It's just a weird feeling for them. But that's also a part of being sexually liberated, being comfortable with yourself, not just with someone else. You have to be able to be comfortable with yourself in those terms in order for you to be able to achieve those orgasms and things like that too, or even know what you really like. Because just because this person does something for you, or you might, something is missing, then you try on yourself, oh shit. Like, it could be a whole different experience if you just try it. Like, I just feel as though you can't say that you're sexually liberated if you don't know your own body. You have to know your own body. You have Absolutely. To be able to be comfortable with your own wants and desires.
Absolutely.
It doesn't necessarily have to be toys. It can be with your fingers. It can just be from hearing somebody's voice and tell you, like, whatever the case may be, to just make you feel like, okay, I know myself. I know my body. I know what brings this to me.
Yeah. Okay. It's fine. Okay, so I want to ask this question, and it could be a controversial question or answer, but it's a very real question and answer. And so this is the question. In your experience, who, and when I say who, is like what group of people, okay, would you say have always seemed to be, in your opinion, the most sexually liberated group of people? And when I say group of people, I'm saying males, females, gay, straight, white, black, whatever, like just in general. You know what I'm saying?
To be this is an opinion question. This is an opinion.
Yeah, it's totally based on your experience and opinion.
Yeah. So I personally would say I feel that white people have more acceptance when it comes to being sexually liberated. I feel like it doesn't seem abnormal when they say that they're within the community, if they say that they're within certain likings or certain experiences, and what they do is more accepted. And it's more like, oh, okay. If someone else that's in a minority was to say that, it's like, it's weird, it's different, it's taboo, it's stigmatized. So Definitely. It makes it less acceptable. I would say that. when it comes to those in the category, I would say that honestly, I feel like both those who have a penis and a vagina, honestly, are the most liberated. I really can't say because I know so many people of both. I know so many people that are of both genders or trans or whatnot that are so open, so just free.
Yeah,
I can't sit here and say I really can't say that. I just cannot because I guess I'm just around a lot of people that's just like.
And no, and that's a great thing because that's what it should be like. And I know that a lot of times it's being said that it shouldn't be that way, but that's what it should be like. You got to go? Okay. Okay. So but I will say, in my opinion, the most sexually liberated group of people, whether it's gay, straight, white, or black, is men. That's just my opinion. That's because, like, man, we some freaky motherfucker. Like, we just be like, hey, like,
it's acceptable too.
Dude told me one day, he say, man, oh God.
It's more expected too. You got to think about that. It's more expected for y'all to be like that. It's more, if you sit here, if you don't know me and I'm up in here having these conversations, you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, it's weird. But if you know me, it's not weird. Like, she always talking some crazy shit. Like, she always saying something or whatever. Like, that's just what it is. But I've heard people say women are more kinky, women more nasty, or men are more expected to be that way because women have been so much in the
afraid to show it.
Women are afraid to show it. Yeah, it's like we kind of like conservative when it comes to that. And it's like, but now, like I said, it's becoming more acceptable because it's a part of the woman. Now it's a part of being a woman. It's a part of being a person. Yeah, being sexually liberated.
And I'm gonna give you a prime example of that. Like, one of the things is, what do they call it? Do they call it rimming? Is that the clean way of saying it?
Ass 8.
Yeah. So, like, I had a dude literally say, man, like, dude, I love to eat my girlfriend's booty, man, but she don't want me to do it. She won't let me do it, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, man, I don't really know what to tell you there. Like, if she doesn't like it, then you might have to find something else that works for the both of you type thing. But then there was this other dude that said that he would do it. She would allow him to do it, but she wouldn't, like, she never admitted to liking it, but he overheard her on the phone with her girlfriends talking about how she loves it. So it's kind of like, man, like, why do we have to go through this? Just tell me that you like this and let's keep it moving.
That's my thing. I'm so pro communicate, like, say that shit.
Yeah.
Like, but again, some people do have issues when it comes to communication. Some people are not comfortable when it comes to communicating those kind of desires. Again, because you don't want your partner to think you too kinky, you too into this. Oh, you may have done this with other people. Oh, like, it's so many things that can go in someone's head when it comes to sex and the judgment behind it. Yeah. So that's something too of why some people feel as though they can't, express those kind of things, or may have some issues when it comes to communicating, when it comes to their wants or their needs. So that's probably the biggest thing that I would say, and just trying to really work on the aspect of the communication. Because you heard your girl saying, "Oh, she like this" or whatever. Did you say something to her about it? Probably didn't.
I don't know. He probably didn't.
They probably didn't. But if they would have said something, it would have made her uncomfortable. But also being able to approach the conversation so a way of making her feel comfortable to explain this to you, then it's like, okay, cool, we can have this conversation. Yeah, because I didn't want you to judge me. I didn't want you to think something else about me. That's something that we as women still sometimes go through when it comes to, our own sexual desires and things like that. So I would say that, like, that's why I say, like, I'm pro communicate when it comes of what you want sexually and all that stuff. Yeah. I am.
It's all about that.
People do have issues when it comes to communicating because They're uncomfortable. It's not a norm thing for them. It's something new for them. So you have to find ways in which makes you comfortable to communicate those desires.
Yeah. So you spoke earlier about women being...
One second.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Damn, that was quick. Okay. So you spoke earlier about women being in their head during the act and not being able to really focus and get into it. Do you have people? Not necessarily women, because I'm a guy. I've never had that.
Don't get me wrong.
I've never had that. As a guy, I've never experienced that. When it's time to do the dirty, that's all I can think about.
Ready. It's clear. Tunnel vision.
Can't think about nothing. As soon as I finish, I'll go back to thinking about some crazy shit. But yeah. So, okay, we'll say people. I like that. That's better. It's more general.
Yes.
Are there any recommendations or any exercises or tips or tricks that people can use in those moments to get past that?
Trying to stay in a moment the best way that you can. I'm not going to try to go as deep because I can just go deep as like, certain mindsets and certain practices and all that type of stuff, but really just trying to embrace the moment. The touches that you feel, really just put your attention to the touches that you feel. The breathing, really pay attention to the breathing and what you're hearing. The wants and your desires, just really communicate with your body language with your partner's body. So if that means grabbing your partner's hand and just caressing yourself with their hands, do that. If it means like just doing things that just make you more so to be in that moment, then go for it. Try not to overthink too much of, am I doing too much? Can I do this? Or am I about to bite them? Or am I about to, do they gonna like this? Woosah. Woosah. I don't want to sound like a selfish lover, but think about your wants, your desires. Make that happen. Don't worry so much about what they're going to want to, because trust me, they going to do what they want to do. They going to make it happen for them. Baby, let it happen for you.
That's dope. That's dope. But I feel you. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's more to it. Like, it is practices and stuff in which you can do in the sense of like, get into that mindset and, things like that. But just the gist of it, just really just elaborate on the things that make you feel like you can be in the present. Even if that means you touching on yourself, even if that means putting on some music, if that means if y'all ain't got no music, y'all watching TV, putting on a movie that just something, I don't know. Just something that really gets you to a point where you can be in the moment of what's going on with y'all.
That's real. Listen. I like to think that I'm a seasoned vet, but I even learned some stuff. So definitely. We
learn stuff every day. Every day we learn stuff. Every single day.
Hell yeah. All right. I had one more question. Oh, yeah. I had one more question about that, and then we're going to talk more about you and what you got coming up and whether or not you're going to write a book or if you've already written one. Like, we getting ready to get good. So, but the other question that I had was, in your opinion, based on your own research and based on what your clients tell you, where do you feel that most men miss it in the boudoir?
What?
In the bedroom. Where do you feel that most men miss it in the bedroom when it comes to their partner? Yeah, like where they like this is where you're screwing up at.
We talked about this earlier.
We did. Okay.
Yeah, actually listening to your partner.
Well, yeah, but that's so.
Listening to, because you can sit here and think you're doing something, but you're not doing nothing.
But if she's not communicating it.
Yeah, but you also gotta realize too, like they may not be communicating. That's why I say communicate.
Like the clues.
Yeah, you have to. You got to. That's so right. With that, even if you not, for instance, you do a stroke, right? And she all in it. You change the stroke. up a little bit because for you it's doing it. Now you see she just regular now.
Yeah, but see, sometimes you might hit that magic stroke, but it's hard to keep it. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. That's on you. That's what I'm saying.
It's hard to keep it. My back is like.
That's what I'm saying. And then too, it's like, okay. So now it's like, okay. So if that's the case too, sometimes like communicate that also because you notice she not doing what she was doing prior to. Because for you, it's like, damn, my back hurt. Like, oh shit, I done got a Charlie horse, whatever. Say that shit. So that it won't be like, girl, this nigga, it won't be that.
Like he was right there, and then he went and started doing some old man shit. Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, like that's why I say that too. Like, pay attention to that. Like, and then like you said, it may have been something with me. Communicate that. Say that because she don't know. She just like this motherfucker done fucked up the motion. That's all she thinking. Like, damn, what's way am I using?
And now your name is mud out here in these streets.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's that's the whole point of being able to comprehend, communicate body language. It's very important with that when it comes to your partners and their likes and their wants. Like it's more to it, of course, but those the basics. The basics.
But those are, to be honest with you, that's where most people fuck up is missing the basics. To be honest, in my opinion,
because you're trying to jump into the conclusion of everything. Like,
right.
You ain't even get the first part of it right. Like, what?
That's dope. Okay, so have you written any literature? Do you plan to write any literature? What's going on?
I do.
Okay.
I do plan to write literature. I love writing short stories. So I have a lot of short stories that are to come, as well as some other stuff that I'm not going to talk about yet that I'm working on.
Got you.
That I'm super excited about. So that's in as part of literature. I do have some partnerships that I'm working on with other brands and organizations and stuff like that too for expansion for Raw. Mm-hmm. And 2022 is looking very good to me.
That's good. That's awesome, man. That's what it's all about. It's about growth.
Yes, I'm excited. Very excited.
Yeah, and making moves. So that's major. Let's see what else. Is there anything that you just wanna say, that you wanna tell the people? Get off your chest.
Follow my Instagram, follow my TikTok. Raw and explicit is just what it says, how it's spelled, raw and explicit. Just follow me. You can email me if you have questions. I also do classes for self-love and as well as pleasure when it comes to couples and self. I also do workshops as well. So hit up your urban sexologist if you got any questions, baby. Let's gonna keep it raw and explicit. You feel me?
Hell yeah. And one more thing. What is the one question that I failed to ask you that I should have asked you?
To be honest, I really enjoyed this interview, so I cannot sit here and say what you did ask, what you did ask. I just enjoyed the flow of everything, so I think everything went well. There's nothing that I feel like, I wonder why he asked me that, or I'm glad he asked me that. I'm actually content how everything went, so I don't have no complaint over here.
That's great. That is amazing. All right, so definitely go check her out on Instagram, follow her, email her.
Yes, Instagram, TikTok. I also have a Facebook group, Raw and Explicit as well.
Oh, I need to go over there.
Yes, basically the same things in what you'll see on Instagram. And we also have like a group of people that just ask questions, we answer stuff, we talk our mess, all that good stuff. So
yeah. Okay, so soon as we are done with this, I'm going to join your group.
Please do.
Definitely. All right, listen, I cannot express to you how much of a pleasure this has been.
It was a pleasure as well. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm glad you ran across me. Thank you.
You're good. You're definitely good at what you do. So
thank you.
Keep it up.
Thank you. I will. I ain't got no choice.
I hear that. All right. I want to be respectful of your time, so I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you too. Have a good one.
Good night.
Bye, y'all.